High ticket sales is going through some changes. And if you want to survive, if you want to make good money, whether you're coming into the industry for the first time or you've been in the industry for a while, you have to adopt with these changes, especially going into 2025 if you want to survive. Before, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, it was a lot easier to close deals. It was a lot easier to set deals. And there's a few reasons for that. There was a lot less sophistication amongst the buyers. The products and services that you could sell, the guarantees you could make were a lot more believable. There's a lot more trust in the industry as a whole because there wasn't as many people that had been burned by people delivering bad services. At the end of the day, lots of transformations have happened. There are a lot of people running very good programs, offering very good services, helping a lot of people. But on the flip side, what comes with that is there are a slew of people that aren't. There are a slew of people that saw the outcomes that some of the business owners were able to, generate income for themselves remotely, able to build companies to multiple seven figures, and wanting some of that, getting into their business model for some of that, rather than for the want of providing a good service to clients and helping people in whatever niche they're providing that service in. Jumped into their business model, jumped in to offers, and now you have a lot of people that aren't providing good services. And I'd say that's starting to whittle down a little bit more. They're always going to be there, but there was a big boom around 2023, 2024, where there was a lot of people not really providing very good services, but selling a lot. It was a good mix of, there was still good amount of trust, 2022, 2023, and going into 2024, there was a lot of still high trust in the industry, but you also had this boom of a lot of people getting into offers and not providing that good of a service, that now you're seeing kind of a flip of that where the trust in the industry is going down, and the people that weren't providing those services, a lot of them are kind of burning out, shutting down. Still new ones coming to the market, but of course, there's not as many as there was before. And back then, when the trust was high, when the guarantees that you could make were massive, you could just jump on calls as a closer, be super scripted, be very, very high pressure in your selling, and again, make these massive guarantees based off of the trust that was in the industry and based off of the lack of sophistication that buyers had when it came to just kind of how the sales process worked. You could be more robotic. You can, say your scripted objection handles. These things worked. You could get an offer. You could close 20, 30, 40, 50% and make good money off of, $5, $10, $15,000 plus offers where you're getting 10. And even back then it was like 15 to 20% commissions, depending on which offers you were on. And now there's a shift, right? Like I said, trust has gone down because people have been burned by some of these offers. People are more sophisticated. They're doing more of their due diligence, which is great. People are looking into people even more before they make purchases. There's a lot more competition, meaning people are getting on 4 and 5, 6 calls with different closers, with different companies before they make a decision. People are now, let's say picking up your service and they've probably worked with someone in your industry before you. And now they're coming to you having already some experience on how the sales process went, on how the delivery was with the last person they worked with. So on the flip side, what it calls for, if you want to survive, you want to make good money, is it calls for, instead of having those scripted conversations, it's calling for you to be more genuine, to genuinely connect with someone, have a real conversation based off of you being actually curious on what it is they're struggling with, what it is they want, with the understanding of, okay, I want to view this conversation through the lens of how can I help? How can I be of service? People have a BS meter, I love to say. They can tell when you're not being real. They can tell when you're not being genuine. So now it's calling for people to not follow their word for word script, ask this question and this question and this question and this question. It's calling for people to be genuine, to be real, and to have a genuine curiosity and look and search for genuine understanding of the person they're talking to so they can point them in the right direction and provide a really good service for that person. The second thing it calls for is no more fake, like pushy scripted pressure at the end of a call when you're handling objections. Now, what you need to do is help people navigate problems. It's like you can push without being pushy. Instead of saying, well, didn't you say this? Don't you want that? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? There's a little bit of that still when people are handling objections, but primarily your objection handling needs to be based off of helping people and asking them questions to help them just kind of organize their own thoughts to see what the best next step for them is, regardless of whether that's working with you or not. Instead of like all these massive guarantees, more and more companies are going to have to rely on stats and social proof in their marketing and what they actually have in terms of data of who they've helped. There's a shift in the market and companies are still crushing it. Closers are still making tons of money and doing and providing a really good service for people and helping them in a massive way. Just as a company, you have to make sure that you're providing the best service for your clients. If you want to survive, you have to really, really focus on customer success over just new units, more sales, push the price. How can we sell this for 10K instead of 6K? Focus on customer success, delivery, referrals, long-term nurturing, better marketing, more social proof. That's what companies have to focus on. And closers, you guys have to focus on genuine connection, working with companies that are doing those things I just mentioned, that are like customer focused, service focused, and really focused on getting great results oriented, and just being congruent with everything that you do so that you're genuinely having real conversations with people. If you do that, if you're that type of closer and you work with that type of business, you will crush, and you will crush for the long term. You just got to know how to vet, how to find those companies, and make sure that you know how to show up on a call and be that type of person.